have no idea how to start this. I feel like if I poured everything out that's been happening this year, I'm just going to end up sounding like Donny Thornberry. So I won't lie to you, it has not been a great year, like, at all. Mentally, I'm like that one SpongeBob gif, you know, where he's like crawling through the door and then just collapses. I think the thing about doing update videos, especially the ones where, you know, it's not great news, I worry that I am going to sound like I am in victim mentality, or like I'm just going to sound like I'm whinging. So just, you know, just so you know, I am okay. I am dealing with it. I'm figuring it out. I'm okay. Like, it sucks to go through this, but it is like I'm doing well considering the circumstances. It's like at the point where I've had so much bad news that any more bad news, it's just like, okay, add it to the list then, I guess. I don't know what that is. Worrying, probably. Starting off strong, I used to work 2 jobs. The key word being used. The first place shut down due to lack of customers, and the second place went for a rebrand, and I wasn't part of that rebrand. It's, you know, they were just doing what they had to do for the business. Like, there's no hard feelings. So I've been applying for jobs like left, right and centre, except that, like, no fucker is hiring. But I do need to find something soon, because a lot of my money goes towards supporting my 2 aging parents. And obviously, like, cost of living crisis and bills and groceries and all that sort of thing. So that's where a good chunk of my money goes, and the other good chunk of my money was going towards a business that I was trying to start up and finance myself. And I am very overdrawn right now. So, next update, I lost 2 stone. Or around 12.7 kg according to Google. It's a little diet I like to call I forgot to eat due to stress. I mean, that being said, I am going to try and make the effort to keep the weight off and lose a little bit more, because my lower back has never felt better. Anyway, just before the job ended, I collapsed at work. So if you don't know, I am type 1 diabetic. I have been since I was 10, and there's something diabetics can suffer from called ketones. Ketones, if they're sort of left to stew in the body, they can cause something called ketoacidosis, which is where your blood turns to acid and your organs shut down, and it is fatal. Can be fatal if it's not caught, you know. When I was 10, they said that by the time I'd come in, I was so bad with ketoacidosis that they said if I'd waited another 2 weeks, like, I wouldn't be here today. So anyway, when I collapsed, like, I genuinely thought I was having a stroke. Like, my speech was slurred, I couldn't breathe, like I was gasping. Like, I went deaf, that was weird. Like, it was like a blanket over my ears. But there was something about being in a medical emergency which made me feel like I had my own stand-up show. Except I was on the floor. I was cracking jokes like left, right and centre, and people were laughing. You know, just hopefully for the right reasons and not because they just felt sorry for me. Like, goddamn, if this girl dies, like, do we really want her last memory to be us not laughing at her jokes? And then in the ambulance, I'd done a bunch of tarot readings for the nurses in the back. Yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling. So when I got there, I asked if they could check for ketoacidosis, and they did, and the ketones was 2.8, and it was rising up to 3. So ketones, I think it is when it hits either 0.4 or 0.6, like, that is danger level. that's when you need to go into hospital. So the fact that it was 2.8 and rising up to 3, it was, you know, yeah, they took me to the emergency department. So as I was walking through, this bloke's leading me through, and he tells me, like, okay, so we're going to put a cannula in, and this is where we're going to get the blood and the fluids from. And I went, oh, I don't think we need to do all that, do we? This seems a bit extreme. And he just looks at me, and I go, you know, wait, like, is the cannula the thing that they put in your arm? And he goes, like, yeah. And I say, do you know what I thought you meant? He said catheter. I was like, yeah. Okay, so anyway, they take me to go get a blood test. Now, I am going to put a bit of a warning here, because I know that people, you know, do have phobias of blood tests. Why did I say it like that? Blood tests? Blood tests, needles, blood in general, so, you know, I'll put like a number here to sorry, my brain's like fried as fuck right now. I'll put a number here that you can skip to. I do have a phobia of blood tests. Now, I don't remember this bit, like, at all. This is just coming from my mum's account. So, when I was 5 or 6, they took me to go have a blood test, but they couldn't get the blood out of my veins. So they kept inserting the needle into my arm, and apparently I was like screaming, I was trying to get away, and so they bring in these nurses to hold me down so I can't move, and they carry on trying to like get blood out of my arm, and I'm just screaming and sobbing the whole time. My mum steps in and stops it, says, you know, this isn't working. But apparently ever since then I've had a bit of a problem with blood tests. Personally, I think it was when I was 10 and I was diagnosed. I was taken into hospital, but they put IV drips in both of my hands and both of my arms. And I think at that age it just scared me. Or the history of what that phobia was, because I was really scared. Like, when I was, oh man, this is vulnerable. When I was, after that, when they said that, you know, after I got out of the hospital and everything, when they were like, when my mum was like, oh, we've got to go have another blood test, I would disappear for like hours because I was scared. I would like be hiding in the wardrobe level scared, and that's not an exaggeration. Like, I would hide for hours at a time because I was like, if I can just see it past the appointment time, they'll have to rearrange, which means I don't have to go. And you know, it's kid logic, right? But yeah, no, I was really bad with it. I won't go into any more detail because it's quite, yeah. Nowadays, you wouldn't think I had phobia. You'd think I was just a teeny tiny bit nervous, but there is this underlining stress whenever I have to go for a blood test. I think it's in my notes that I'm bad with blood tests, but essentially all that I do is, like, you know, like, I sit there, I let the doc know, I say I've got a bit of a phobia of blood tests, and that my veins aren't great for getting blood, because apparently there is someone up there with a sense of humour that decided to give the type 1 diabetic Athera needles and blood tests. I just kind of, like, you know, I've got my arm out and everything, I just kind of like lean away, and I'm just kind of like, I've either got my eyes shut or I'm just staring off at, like, just, you know, trying to slow the heart rate down, trying to take the deep breaths. It don't work, right? It doesn't work. Deep breathing does not work for me. But there's nothing else I can do. It's more like going through the motions of trying to keep my heart rate down more than anything. Because, right, so, get this, when you're scared, your blood in your body goes from, like, your hands and your arms to your heart and your brain, like the important organs to kind of keep you going, keep you alive, right? But it doesn't really prioritize the hands and the arms. So if you're scared of blood tests and your veins aren't great anyway, you're, and they can't get the blood out, and they have to keep trying. You get more and more scared. The less blood that's in, it's, oh man, give a bitch a break. Anyway, back to the emergency department. So the bloke tries to take my blood, and you know he can't, and then he tries again and he can't. So it's at this point where I can start to feel the panic about to kick in, and so I sort of go like, you know, no pressure, but you've probably got like one more shot at this before I tap out. So, and you know, he was lovely, he was. So, you know, I look away again and he gets the blood. And he goes, all done. And so I turn back round and the floor was clean when I first looked away, right? I turn back and there are splatters of my blood everywhere. I don't know what the fuck. What vein did he tap into? I was like, what have you done to me, man? There was like, it was like, if you imagine your fingernails, right, as little pools of blood. It was like it was like a handful of fingernails, like splattered, but all over the floor. I didn't know I had that kind of shooting range, man. It was kind of impressive, actually. You know, it was kind of a talent. So anyway, well, the blood test showed that the ketones were rising. So I was begging them to let me go home and not to put an IV drip in my arm. I was like, oh my god, like please, man, I've got 50p in my pocket if you're open to bribes. Just let me go. They didn't take the bribe. They didn't take the bribe, but they did let me go. But that was probably because I was literally just like, whatever the IV drip is doing, I will do it at home. Let me go, please. I was scared, man. I was scared, you know. I had no shame. I was begging. So they did let me go. I think they just got fed up of me cracking jokes in the end, actually. So the doctor was like, okay, so we thought it was ketoacidosis, but the sugar levels are fine. The ketones are likely just a result of like this, and this. Basically, it wasn't what we feared. Like, I think it was caught early enough, like left to stew, it would have become that. But just really quickly, just list like the other stuff that's been going on, but I can't really talk about at the moment. So I am standing up to a narcissist, which is going just about as well as you would think it would. I am very emotionally drained and exhausted. I've had 2 funerals this year. I've got one coming up. There's 2 other massive things that are taking up a lot of my mental time and energy, but I can't talk about them right now. One is because it's a gentleman's agreement. So a gentleman's agreement is basically where there's no formal NDA in place, but like, you know, still can't talk about it. And the second one is because if I tell you why I can't talk about it, you'll know why I can't talk about it. So in terms of work, it's not great. Financially, it's not great. I'm not gonna lie, I'm really struggling with this. But like financially, like mentally I'm doing alright, but financially I'm panicking. But in terms of work, you know, not having 2 jobs anymore, I was wondering if maybe it was just all for the best. When I wasn't working at either of my 2 paying jobs, I was essentially coming back and working on my own business that I was trying to fund and start up. So I was essentially waking up, I was working, and then I was going back to sleep. And that was like 16-hour days of working. My hobbies, never heard of her. You know, they all took a back seat. Or the history of what that phobia was, because I was really scared. Like, when I was, oh man, this is vulnerable. When I was, after that, when they said that, you know, after I got out of the hospital and everything, when they were like, when my mum was like, oh, we've got to go have another blood test, I would disappear for like hours because I was scared. I would like be hiding in the wardrobe level scared, and that's not an exaggeration. Like, I would hide for hours at a time because I was like, if I can just see it past the appointment time, they'll have to rearrange, which means I don't have to go. And you know, it's kid logic, right? But yeah, no, I was really bad with it. I won't go into any more detail because it's quite, yeah, you know, if you don't know, I'm trying to run a publishing business, but I do all of it. I do have a selling team, and I do have a global distributor, and they both work on commission, so that's great. I pay a wonderful cover designer for the covers, and the covers she does are stunning. Like, I'm not trying to make a sale or anything here, but like, oh, fuck's sake, where's it gone? Yeah, so I pay a wonderful cover designer for the covers. This chair is broken. It's broken. Now I'm bashful. I didn't know. Everybody say, don't be bashful, Lorex. Right. So yeah, no, I pay sorry. I pay a wonderful cover designer for the covers. And I pay the printer that prints the books. So I do the rest. I do the contracts, I do the legalities, the developmental editing, the copy editing, the proofreading, you know, the formatting, the marketing, the PR, the communications, the financial things, like, you know, everything else that needs doing, because there's always something. And it's a lot of work for one person, and I can't afford to take on anyone. And I don't want to take on a volunteer because you should be paid for your work. So I'm just trying to figure out a solution for that at the moment. It's just, I don't mean it in a self-pitying way. It's just, when you're the only person specifically in that situation, it can be really lonely. And my friends and family are all there for me, and I am honestly so grateful to have them. They're amazing, like, I love them all to bits, so I'm not alone in this. I'm just going to title this video me sighing for half an hour. I'm both emotionally numb and incredibly on edge, which is a Tinder profile if ever I've had it. Not to end it on a bad note, with the time that I have had free from not working the 2 other jobs, I have been able to mentally get some of the energy back. Like, for example, like the other day, sorry if you can hear that. I live with other people. Right, so anyway, like the other day I had the spark to write again, and I don't think I've had the spark to write for 3 years since my last book. Like, it was nothing past the premise of like a paranormal horror story set in, you know, the forest. There was nothing past that, and it's terribly cliche in and of itself. But the fact that I had that spark to write again was massive to me. Because again, it's been like 3 years. So that's big to me. And plus, I have been able to pick up a side of myself that I haven't been able to do for a very long time, which is acting and voice acting. Now, if you can't tell, I am still a little bit camera shy, like being in front of the camera. It's just because it's been so long since I was last on a set or a studio. I've kind of forgotten how to be on camera. And I'm warming up now and getting a little bit more like relaxed with it. I do think it's just coming down to confidence and relaxation. But in terms of voice acting, that's a bit different because I'm not on camera and it's just my voice. So I've been doing this voice acting course, and that's taught by Peter Dickinson and Hugh Edwards, and they're fantastic teachers. Like, the courses they've been doing have just been so amazing. Like, the technological side of things, right? The like audio interfaces, XLR cables and things like that. I needed a team of people to tell me how to work OBS, right? And I still don't know how to do it. But their like technological courses were amazing for me to figure out how to do. I'm laughing because this up there, that's my voice acting studio. These I can't afford a stand, so I've just put like a bunch of books. And what I do is I've got this little rolling table here, and basically I just pull this out, I stand behind there, and it's got like the pop filter and the microphone in there. I don't really have a microphone, it's my smartphone, so don't tell my coaches that this is my voice acting studio, but it's all insulated. I'm too scared to move it because it's so fragile. I'm scared if I show you it's just going to all fall apart, and you as well, you're very fragile. You're balancing on a hope and a prayer right now. So anyway, that takes you through all the voice acting how-tos and all the tech, like I mentioned, technological side and techniques. And honestly, it has been like stepping into a warm home after being in a snowstorm. Like, I love acting so much. It's like muscle memory. Like, there's so much to learn, but I do understand what they're saying. I just need a bit more confidence. I think I just need someone to teach me, you know, just I think I just need I think a lot of it does come down to me chilling the fuck out in front of camera and relaxing a little bit. And I think the way for me, it's kind of like one of those, I can't remember what the term is, but it's like one of those cycles where in order to get confident in front of the camera again, I need to be in front of the camera, right? But in order to relax in front of the camera, I need to know that I'm doing a good job in front of the camera, but I can't do a good job in front of the camera unless I relax. I think I just need someone who knows what they're doing a little bit more, to maybe take pity on me and take me under their wing a little bit. But no, with the voice acting, I used to do a little bit of voice acting, so that's been really nice to get back into that. Plus, now don't get me wrong, a lot of my, like I was mentioning, there are two big things that are taking up a lot of time and energy right now, which haven't been easy to deal with, aside from the stuff that I've mentioned already. I think, you know, like with this voice acting thing, I've got mentors, you know, but I feel like I need like the equivalent, but for on-camera acting as well. So I kind of need someone to take pity on me and take me under their wing and teach me how to be on camera again and how to relax and how to chill the fuck out. I'm not normally so highly strung. It's just been a tough year. Anyway, so I am voicing 2 audiobooks at the moment, so I'm super excited to do that. That's been fun. And I've had a good think about schedule in terms of YouTube. So I haven't quite figured out how to get screenshots from my phone onto the video. So there might be nothing here other than the books. But essentially what I'm aiming for is 1 video, long form video a week, and 1 TikTok a week, but uploaded to YouTube, basically. So 2 videos a week, basically. And seeing as I have the time now, sort of, and I really miss making these, man. Conclusion. I am okay, genuinely. It didn't sound quite convincing when I said it like that, but I am doing okay. I'm doing well with everything, considering. And, you know, I'll figure it out. So I am sorry for disappearing. I just had to go for like this half a year, a little bit more, because there was just too much going on really that sort of needed tending to. But I really am going to try to stick to a schedule this time. But if I don't manage to, please don't think I'm being lazy or I'm being flaky or I'm being wishy-washy or anything like that. It's literally just because something's gotten in the way again. You know, something's gotten in the way again. but I really do want to come back. I do actually have some of the TikTok scheduled now, so we're good for the moment. I still have a long form video from like months ago. I still haven't edited and uploaded yet. I think it was the Fears to Fathom episode. It was something, episode something. Sorry. It was quite a while ago when I recorded it. And a bunch of TikToks and shorts that I never like released from back then as well, so you know, I'll have to release them at some point. So that is, it's not everything, but hopefully it's enough of an explanation to get you up to date with everything. So thank you for watching, I do appreciate it, and I will see you soon.